Hello, everybody. It's Jochen, and I'm back with the Desert Wolf versus Loka campaign. This is December 7th, 1941, turn 1. From now on, I'm just going to call these guys Loka or DW. All right, so I have no idea how this campaign's going to start off here. There are literally no house rules here, as I stated on my intro to this campaign. So I don't even know where to begin with something like this. Like, the Allies can do anything they want on turn 1. As a Japanese player, it'd be very hard to deal with that, in my opinion. So let's see what he does. Okay. So it looks like this is Loka. So a Desert Wolf or DW is playing the Allies. So that's the side we're watching, really. This looks like a ship heading out of, what is this? Oh, Hong Kong, and it got caught up by these cruiser thingies. That's loud. Let me turn that down a bit. All right, so obviously that guy's dead. All right, I think we know that thing sank. Maybe Desert Wolf is just sending out a little feeler to see how it's going here. He's sending out single ship task forces here. This is some gamey stuff. No, it's okay. There's no rules. He's sending out single ship task force to run these guys out of ops points and ammo quickly. Let's. All right, let's. Not much to gather from this. All right. Man, I'll have to work on the volumes on this, guys, because these guys have their game set up differently than mine. So I don't control all the settings that they're using. So you're going to have to bear with me on volumes until I figure that out. So another ship destroyed. Oh, PT boats here. I think this is at San Fernando. Look at the size of this invasion task force. Let's see what these little PT boats can do, huh? Oh, what? They're evading? All right. This is going pretty slow. Wyatt Earp here. They're disengaging, so let's just go ahead and get to it here. Oh, whoa! Oh, dang. Okay. Well, I missed that. Okay, so apparently when I fast forwarded through this, DMS W-17 took a torpedo and is sunk. Wow. That is an incredible trade. So DMSs, the Japanese don't get that many. Now, granted, this is scenario 2, but to lose one, I hate losing destroyer minesweepers because there's just not a lot of them. So even if all of these, jeez, look at the size of that. Okay, 2 PT boats is a great trade for a destroyer minesweeper. So good job for these guys. Oh, come on. Oh, that would have been nice to hit that. This is in deep water, so I doubt they're going to hurt it. And they don't. Okay, perch. So here's something that you're seeing, guys. Because DW is able to move his ships on turn 1 as the allied player, you're going to see basically every submarine in Manila out on the prowl. Because they're not sitting in port, because they're not required to do that, because there's no house rules. So there's going to probably be a lot of sub activity here. All right, some more PT boats. It looks like these are near Iba. I'm going to fast forward because the way that Desert Wolf and these guys have the speed that these messages go through, we're going to be here all day watching these. these combat animations move slower than like on my campaign. So let's just go ahead and see what happens here. Alright. So all three of these PT boats are vaporized. Nothing good happened there. Alright. So we have some sort of Japanese task force catching up to some sort of something or another here. Okay, just the AVP. But we're going to be here a while, guys. There's so many ships floating around now because the Allies can do this. We could be here all day because there's so many more naval interactions than you would normally have with a house-ruled game. All right. So this is obviously some sort of invasion going somewhere. All right, and that's going to probably end up the same way. Okay. Uh-oh. So this little guy runs into a rather significant surface force north of Jolo. I don't think this guy's going to get out of this one. That's a lot of ships. Yeah, dead. Nothing really lost there. These AVPs aren't worth much. But now we know he's got a very large surface contingent in the Sulu Sea, which is probably going to be there to cut off all these retreating ships coming out of Manila. Okay, Sea Dragon getting depth charged. Nothing came of that. The Sea Dragon again. This deep water is no threat. Alright, again, we're seeing a lot of submarines out because they have the ability to be out. I would not want to be the Japanese player on turn 1 dealing with all of this stuff. This does not look enjoyable. Oh my gosh. How many subs are we going to have to deal with, man? Alright. So, we got the I-121 in the Singapore Hex. This is probably a mine-laying mission. But since they're done laying mines, they can engage ships on the surface here, so... And that ship is probably going to sink. There it goes. Okay, air operations, the AM phase here. There should be no real much else going on with the naval stuff. On December 7th turn 1 of this game, you only get the daytime movement phase. You don't get to see the nighttime one. So that's something you keep in mind, guys. If you're playing this game, turn 1, you only get one movement pulse, no matter if you're Japan or the Allies. So plan accordingly. I lost a lot of ships on my first go-through in this game because I thought I would get double the movement. Okay, so it does appear that we do have Kido Butai, or at least some of it, at Pearl. And something else down there near Numeo, which seems really far away. Alright, let's kind of fast forward through some of these messages. Since there's so many allied ships at sea now, this could take forever. Okay. So what is going on at Numea? That's what I want to know. Okay, here we go. We got a Pearl Harbor strike, guys. Unfortunately, there's basically no cap to speak of here. So this appears to be at least the bulk of Kido Butai. It is a bit short of aircraft, so I'm wondering if we maybe split it up somehow. I'm going to go ahead and run through this, or else we'll be here all night watching this. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we get up with. You ready? Let's run it. Okay. Maryland sinks. All right, let's analyze this now. We have not too many Japanese aircraft destroyed outright. Uh, the Allied losses, we definitely hit the airfield, but again, not too hard. These airfield losses are very acceptable, right? Some P-40Bs, some B-18s. This is kind of an anemic airfield strike. Now, what isn't so bad is, well, not for him anyway. He did pretty good with all these Kate strikes. I don't know that I've seen this many torpedo hits in a long time. 6, 2, 4, that's 12, 15, 19, 24, 26, 27, 27 torpedo hits. That's really good. So far, it looks like the Maryland has sunk and the helm was sunk. Pretty okay-ish hits to the airfield. This is okay. I feel like we're missing some aircraft here. Yeah, this is not the full Kido Butai strike. Not by a long shot. We're at least 1 to 2 carriers short here. All right, well, there's Pearl. Okay, there's your typical sweep of Manila from Takao. And a sweep from Sok Trang. Now, you notice that there's no cap up here, right? All right, so this looks intentional to me. What is this? Oh, what a waste of nails, man. Oh no. That's really it. Oh boy, let's see this. Man, that's a waste of a nail strike going up over a bunch of harbor defense motor launches. You tell me that's the best target these guys could come up with? So I was saying, I don't think Desert Wolf or DW, whatever, he's not flying cap on purpose because he knows there's no point. What is he gonna do? He's not gonna be able to stop these guys at all. So he's trying to save his aircraft here on turn 1 and not even attempt to fly cap because they're just gonna get chopped and diced. So far, this is really standard stuff here, guys. Nothing super earth-shattering with this so far. Bombing from 10,000 feet. That seems a little high. I'm curious as to why he's that high. And what exactly is he targeting here? A ground attack? At 10,000 feet? Why? And extended range, too. Why? Why would you do that? Surely there's a better target for this. Whatever. I mean, it's fine. Oh man, this scenario 2 stuff, I'm getting reminiscent of the good old days when I had unlimited aircraft and extra squadrons to just do my bidding. Wow. Dang, Desert Wolf. Look at this. Interesting. I like it. I like it. Wow. I like it. Okay, so right out of the gate, Desert Wolf is flying industry strikes in China because there's no rules. Most people house rule this and say no industry bombing in China until 1943. That's a pretty common rule. Um, Desert Wolf is already going for resources right out of the gate. And that's really smart because I'll guarantee you Loka is not thinking about that on turn one. So there's a lot of industry in China that Desert Wolf can do a lot of damage to, and that's not good for the Japanese player. Look at that. This is an oil strike. I guarantee you. Watch this. Oh. I guarantee you he was going for the oil. Because there's oil at Taihoku. Okay, again, notice the distinct lack of cap being flown here. Okay. He's just trying to keep from forts building up here. Okay, there we go. Look at this. I think we found our other carrier, guys. Dang. Light Cruiser Mauritius has got some pretty decent flag, huh? Wow, look at that flag. So the Mauritius is sitting off of Mersing, and my guess here... Oh, can I scroll? No. This is probably to guard against the turn 1 Mersing Gambit. So he puts something here to kind of disrupt it. Now, it does appear that the enemy being Loka, has some sort of Kido Butai support here, or at least a fraction of one, for a Mersing attack. You kind of see it over there. We'll talk about it when we go around the map. Okay, now he's sweeping a place that has no fighters up. I like that. I like that move. Okay, AM phase is done. So far, I like what Desert Wolf is doing here. He's targeting industry right out of the gate, and he's purposely keeping his cap down so that he's not throwing away fighters to superior sweeping aircraft. Man, that's a lot of fun. A lot of search planes have been shot down over Pearl. That's like the 4th one. Okay, I'm guessing there's a carrier there. Yeah, that looks to me to be a Mersing landing coming in. Okay, let's go with the PM phase. This is a port. This is a naval strike. Okay, that Betty attack went nowhere. Alright, and this is another naval strike on ships leaving Manila. And again, completely wasted on an AM, which is a mine layer. What a waste. Oh, man, I don't like this. I would not want to play Japan like this, guys. There's just no way. Like, how do you even plan for this? There's absolutely no December 7th surprise because you know it's coming, so the Allies have already deployed. I wouldn't want to play like this. And these Nels are going after garbage, literally harbor defense motor launches as opposed to better ships elsewhere because, you know, you can trick them into this sort of thing. Mm. All right. So this is an unescorted raid going into Clark Field. Unfortunately, there was just no cap up. That is the December 7th surprise option for the game. So let's see what this comes up with. Not much. A little bit of damage to the airfield, and really nothing substantial done to the aircraft. Hmm. A little bit better. One B-17 destroyed. Uh-oh. Walrus on naval strike from Hong Kong. What are they going to hit? Not much, but it was a good try. And Wildebeest going to Kuching. These have a good chance of hitting something. Yep, there it is. These guys always hit something. I like that. Good job. You can guarantee. I can guarantee you there's troops on this ship. Any more? Oh, nice. Well done, Wildebeests. Oh yeah. I feel kind of guilty, like I'm cheering on this allied player taking out a Japanese player. I play Japan now, but it's DW. I have to cheer for him, even though he's hurting my people. Oh, that, that ship is in serious trouble. Yeah, it's dead. That thing's dead. Hmm. It's way dead, and I bet you there's a lot of troops on that. Okay, I think we get it. He's dead. Yikes. Ooh. Nice. So that's your Kuching landing, and it just got seriously curtailed. Excellent. Excellent attack by these wildebeests. I guess they're coming out of Sinkoang. So that's going to hurt the landing force at Kuching substantially. Well done. What? Wildebeests in Clark Field? Yeah, this is... Wow. Come on, let's get something. Oh, dud. Oh, bummer. But that's pretty cool. So Desert Wolf moved these guys, I guess, from he moved them from Hong Kong to here, and sure enough, they made an attempt and almost hit a ship in the Lingayen Gulf here. B-10s are gonna go for it now. Okay, let's see what else we get. Okay, B-17's going for Sama. And now, if Loka was smart, he would have pulled all of his ships out of port here. Yeah, nothing really came of that. Okay, a bunch of Bettys are going after the Penguin, which comes out of Guam. Okay, cool. Betty's hitting Rabal. Okay, a couple hits on Rabal. I think this is kind of unnecessary, and I also don't get this altitude here. Like, why is he flying so high? You can come down so much lower, and there's nothing at Rabal that can hurt you. I don't know why he's flying so high. I'm sure he has a reason, guys. Loka's been playing like 10 times longer than me. Okay, here we go. So if we weren't sure before, we're definitely sure now. That looks to me to be the equivalent of 2 carriers worth. I'm guessing they're immersing. Because that's too many cates to come off of one carrier. Hosho, okay. So I'm guessing maybe 1 heavy carrier, 1 fleet carrier, and then maybe the mini KB. Because you're not going to have B5N2s on mini Kita Butai. So that's what it looks like to me. Zuiho, okay. These guys are missing everything. Oh, there we go. Finally got a hit. It's not getting through the armor. Kaga. Okay, there we go. So we have Kaga and the mini Kita Butai are working together in here near Mersing. Finally getting some damage on the Mauritius. Zuiho, Hosho, and Kaga. I've seen this combination before from other players. There's a case to be made that Kaga works better with the mini KB because it's a bit slower than all the other fleet carriers the Japanese have, and its speed synergizes well with the escort and light carriers that the Japanese have. So I think that the Mauritius is probably going to be going down here, but the rest of this stuff is, you know, it's whatever. All right, I'm guessing this is the Taiho. Let's see. It's probably the Taiho on this one. Okay, so this aircraft complement looks a lot like Taiho. Or Taiyo. Not Taiho, Taiyo. Taiho comes in like 1944. It could be Ryujo too. I don't know. Okay, what if it's Ryujo and Taiyo? There you go. That's what it is. Okay, I think we know they got it. So a lot of sorties are flown to take out a couple AKLs. Okay, you saw that message, right? Planes diverting to Singapore. Something sank there. I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be. Oh, okay. So the Vega torpedoed at Lahaina. And we have I-121 engaging some more AKLs at Singapore. I'm pretty sure you will sink that too. There it goes. Sorry about that, Captain Mitchell. All right, here we go. Our first amphibious landing at Lingayen. And I did this in my campaign. And the coastal defense guns at Lingayen ripped me a new one. So let's see what they do to this. It was not pretty when I came in here. I lost a lot of ships. Not much. These guys look like... Okay, well, it's mostly escort and very little transport here. Wish I could have got that lucky. So what do we got here? A bunch of infantry regiments. First Formosa. 48th. Okay, so this looks to be at least the bulk of the 48th Division and some support units. So 48th Division is definitely committed, or at least part of it, to the Philippines. All right, Minato. This is a very standard place to go for on turn 1 as the Japanese. It's a great base to support future movements into the Dutch East Indies. Okay, AK Tokushima Maru takes some hits from these coastal defense guns, but they're very small. The 75mm guns aren't going to do a lot of damage. Yeah, very standard move here, and it makes sense to me. 7th Tank Regiment, 4th Tank Regiment, and the 23rd Air Flotilla. I'm curious why he's using 2 tank regiments here, unless he's just forward locating them. Look at this. A Type 95 light tank dropped into the water. Way to go, guys. Whoa. Really? Okay. Well, that's new. I've never seen that before. Amphibious assault on Noumea on turn 1. I've never seen that. That's not to say somebody else hasn't done it before, but again, a lot of house fills will prevent this deep of an invasion on turn 1. So it's just not something I'm used to. We'll have to really analyze like what the benefit of this is. Let's go ahead and see how it works out. Okay, looks like the 6-inch gun battery at Noumea got a couple hits here on stuff. And what do we have here? A tank regiment, SNLF, and part of a airfield detachment. Okay. Definitely using a lot of armor on his invasions. That's at least 3 tank regiments that we've spotted now. I kind of thought he would have used these at Malaya myself. And okay, here we go. Big invasion at Kurubaru, but this is pretty normal for the Japanese to do this. Okay, Kwanton, landing at Kwanton. I personally don't like landing at Kwanton because it's hard to cover it with aircraft early on. However, with part of Kitabutai hanging off the coast, I guess it's not as dangerous. Okay, Pontianak. I'm not quite sure why we're going here. Okay. I don't know what the significance of Pontianak is. Alright. So, landing at Kuching. Remember, 2 of the ships already took damage here with troops aboard before they even unloaded. And this is a pretty large investment. This is an entire infantry regiment, unformed, and a naval guard unit coming in at Kuching. So that's enough to take it. So I guess that's it for the unloading stuff. Let's see what we get for ground combat. All right. Textbook starting in China here. Like, who doesn't do this? Yeah, that's pretty normal. All right, so this is what he landed at Lingayen. Most of the 48th Division and an Army HQ. There you go. 400 AV ashore at Lingayen, and that's definitely enough. Already, I can see up here a bunch of paratroopers. Do you see these little LCUs here? This is going to be a lot of paratrooper attacks here. And there you go. That's what we got at Numea. He's come in with 2 engineer units, a air support unit, SN11, and a tank regiment. So he's looking to build this base up quickly. That's enough to get this going as soon as possible. Okay, plenty of AV here to take Kuching in one turn. Okay, so these are paratrooper landings right now. So we're going to go through these quick. He sprinkled these guys all over, what do you call it? Luzon. I did the same thing. I landed at like 6 places on turn 1. No house rules about splitting up the paratroopers, so you can do that. Okay, Lubang. I don't know why he took this place. It's not that significant in my opinion. I would have gone for Malbon myself. Wow. There it is. That's your turn 1. Hey, it's my home. Marchfield. Okay, now we're live with our post-turn analysis. So what's my initial analysis? I'm a little underwhelmed, to be honest with you. But I totally understand why. Because these house rules that they're playing with, or the lack thereof, makes it so hard for the Japanese player to even know where to begin, right? Because everything could be out of port. Things could be moving around. Like, there's just nothing you can do to stop the Allies from just kind of spreading out everywhere on turn 1. So I don't even know how you even play that. I don't envy Loka Senna for that, and I wouldn't want to play that kind of way. I guess since we're here looking at Pearl, we'll just go ahead and take a look at the damage numbers for the ships here. And then we'll look at the rest of the numbers here. But a lot of damage here. But none of these are in danger of sinking at this time. So basically every single battleship got hit by something. Most of the light cruisers and heavy cruisers did not, which is good. Overall, I would say this was an acceptable for the Allies. I mean, none of these are that important anyway. They're going to take forever to repair. They have bad range. They're slow. You know, the standards are not great combat ships in 1941, 42. So these being damaged is not really the end of the world. All right. Anyway, let's keep looking at the numbers here. Aircraft losses this turn. 36 for the Allies and 23 for the Japanese. So, some Vals, some P-40s, a few Kates, not too bad. Overall, pretty unexciting numbers here, aircraft loss-wise. Of those 36 aircraft lost, it appears that we only have 1 killed pilot out of all that. That's pretty good. Army loss points, not much. Japanese actually lost a lot because of those ships that were hit near Kuching. Allied ship sunk, 16. Let's see what we got here. If you take a look at it, it's not that bad. The Maryland was for sure sunk. Let's see. Let's look at just the Allies. The Helm. A couple small and a lot of useless ships here. So this is really good if you're the Allied player to have this few ship losses. And again, the reason that is because they weren't sitting in port. And Loka knew they wouldn't be in port, so he didn't even bother with a lot of port strikes here. So it's very easy for the Allied player to avoid damage on turn 1 like this. And obviously for the turn, we're not even going to bother looking at its ratio right now because it's turn 1. Let's go take a look at China. And let's see if we can deduce what DW is doing just by what we're seeing here. So it appears uh, he's falling back into positions here, moving back towards Sion in some places, but moving forward onto these roads in others. He is converging on Xinyang. If you see that, a lot of these troops are moving towards there. He's moving to block this road there. And my read on the situation near Wenchao is that it's a combination of falling back towards Changsha and also moving in towards Wenchao. It looks like he may be attempting a Fortress Wenchao situation here, because I see troops moving in the direction of it, not away from it. I think that's a good idea, because I hate this place, man. If you let this place fester for long, it gets extremely hard to take, because this 100th Chinese Corps is actually pretty good. And it's pretty decent as far as experience and morale for the Chinese, and it has a lot of AV in it. So if you let this thing sit here too long, yeah, you're gonna have problems taking Wenchao. So I personally go for this thing immediately. Okay, he is attempting a mass exodus of Hong Kong here, and I get why, because there's only so many ships that can intercept you. It does appear that his triple DDs from Hong Kong are trying to do some hunting near Samar, but they did miss on this turn. Looking into the Philippines, we got paratrooper drops all over Luzon, and about one division's worth of troops coming ashore at Lingayen. That's pretty minor. That's a pretty small investment into Luzon on turn one. But there's a couple schools of thought with Luzon, right? You can either go super hard and heavy like I did, or you can go really light and just slowly pick away at it. DW calls this the giant Allied POW camp, and I know his philosophy playing the Japanese is to slow roll this place to heck. All right. Not much to really see here yet. Pretty conservative landings at Patani, Kotobaru, and Kuantan for Loka. I don't know what his goal is here. He does also appear to have Kitobutai, or not. This is mini Kitobutai, supported by Kaga, sitting off of Mersing. So I don't know what his actual goal is with that. We'll see you in the next turns, I guess. So let's see how the Mauritius is looking here. Damaged, but still afloat. I don't think it'll survive next turn, though, because he will catch up to this. And notice how he has everything broke down into very small task forces, guys. See this? 1 to 2 ship task forces. He's doing that to make it harder for Loka's subs and ships and aircraft to pick off large task forces. So he's, just doing very small things here. Single ship task forces, man. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Not a fan of this at all. But hey, no rules, right? Okay, landed at Kuching. Also landed at Monado. Nothing at Rabal yet. I personally like to go for that right away. He did not. Who knows where the rest of his troops are at. And then here's something that really surprised me. This landing at Noumea, and with reasonable amount of force. I never thought about this because all the games that I've played have house rules that prevent an invasion this deep. But again, as I've been saying like a broken record, these guys have no rules. So why the heck not? Why would you not try for Noumea? My problem here is that what are you supporting this with? That's very deep in here. Are there AOs here? Is there extra supply? How are you going to keep the ships fueled up when their line of supply is truck? That's a long way to sail If anything goes bad here, it's very far away. So I'm gonna watch this and see how it develops. But I don't know that going for Numea on turn one is a great idea unless you're willing to get cut off, or unless he has a massive logistical train already in place here for this, which I don't see. So I don't know. I think this is a little dangerous. But let's see what he does, and let's see what DW does to counter it. A couple little things before I end this turn, because I really can't get a good sense of what's happening here until I see some stuff moving around a little bit more. But I would love to know where Force Z is at, so let's see if we can find him. Prince of Wales is still in Singapore. Okay, there we go. Prince of Wales is in Singapore. So he did not. Okay, there they are. Look at that. Repulse and Prince of Wales stayed in Singapore for this turn. So my guess is he's probably going to take them. This is what I would do if I was DW. You have a couple options, right? You can form these guys up, right? And now you can go straight for these guys if you want. You can go straight down in here if you want to disrupt these guys. Or you can do this too, right? You can take them and get them the heck out of Dodge. Now, I'm not saying that Desert Wolf is going to do that. He may YOLO these guys right into something good. I have no idea. But when you leave them in Singapore doesn't get hit, you can just go full speed and get out of here, and you can clear 16 hexes, which would put you what? Let me see. 15. That puts you about here. Maybe not quite out of range of the torpedo carrying aircraft. Or you can try to make a run for it down this way through the Merak Gap, as I like to call it. But I'm pretty sure it has a more official name. I'm pretty sure that actually there's a battle where the Houston was sunk. It was somewhere in this strait here. So, yeah, there's a lot of options for DW having saved Force Z's battleships. I would not be surprised if he just goes straight for these guys. That might be kind of fun to see how that turns out. Or he can even go up to Quanton if he wants. There's so many options when you have Force Z intact on turn one. I would hate to be Loka having to deal with that next turn. Ugh. Also, I'd like to know where Houston and Boise are at, because those are two ships that always cause trouble for the Japanese. So I see Houston in Task Force 449 and Boise in Task Force 436. And there they are. So we got Houston and Boise sitting at Cagayan here, undetected. And now if they want, they can just come through here, engage these guys, or come around here, engage these guys. In my opinion, they're kind of poised for a strike towards Babel. Let's see if they could get there in one turn. So if we go full speed, Babel would be 15. Yeah, he could totally get there. So this is also dangerous for the Japanese player. These ships, I don't know what it is about them, but they just do so well typically against Japanese ships. So them being intact and unspotted gives DW a lot of operational flexibility. All right. My conclusions here is that I'm not that impressed with the Japanese opening moves, but how could you be when they don't know what they... I mean, you kind of have to wait and see where the Allies are at when they're allowed to move. And also, I would never want to play this way myself, because this is just too big of a moving target for the Japanese. I would want to have a December 7th surprise. That's the whole point of the war starting, right? Where the Allies are all in port, sleeping in bed, just kind of chilling, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, and the Japanese are attacking everywhere. With this configuration, it's assumed that the Allies knew a day in advance that the Japanese were coming, and they all scattered and ran for the hills. And that doesn't give the Japanese player a lot of, options for doing damage to these guys on turn one that you would normally get. So, not my cup of tea, but I'm really excited to watch it, and I hope you guys are too. My coverage of this campaign will get better over time once I start seeing the strategy develop from both sides. Because right now it's just too soon for me to really get a good picture of what each player is doing. Desert Wolf will be giving me updates as time goes on. But on this first one, I'm just kind of doing it live, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you're excited for this because I am. I think it's going to be good, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.